Hey there, and welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
Today, we're going to take a closer look at something pretty common. Gallstones.
Mm-hmm. Very common.
Yeah, and when we think about gallstones, often the first thing that comes to mind is, well, medical procedures, maybe surgery even. Right?
That's the usual route, yes.
But what if there was a completely different way? Today, we're exploring let's say, a fascinating angle based on traditional practices for tackling this.
Right. So maybe before we dive into that, let's just quickly recap what gallstones actually are for everyone.
Good idea.
Okay, so basically they're hard, sort of pebble-like bits that form inside your gallbladder.
And the gallbladder is that small organ under the liver.
Exactly, tucked right under the liver. Its main job is storing and concentrating bile. Bile is that digestive fluid the liver makes, and it's crucial for breaking down fats in our food.
Got it. Bile, fats, gallbladder.
And there are mainly two types of these stones, the most common ones, cholesterol stones, made mostly from, well, undissolved cholesterol.
Okay, makes sense.
Then you have pigment stones. They tend to be smaller, darker, and they form when there's too much bilirubin in the bile. Bilirubin is a pigment produced when red blood cells break down.
Okay, so cholesterol and pigment stones, that's the standard picture.
Pretty much.
But here's where our deep dive takes a really interesting turn. The sources we looked at talk about natural, non-surgical, and apparently pain-free ways to manage them.
Yes, that's the claim.
And this information is presented as 100% based on traditional practices from Kerala in India.
Specifically, the Thrissur District in Kerala.
Right. And they're described as, simple, organic, natural remedies. It's a whole different way of looking at it compared to conventional medicine. So how do these methods supposedly work?
Well, that's the really insightful part. The sources point to practices rooted in ancient systems like Ayurveda and Siddha medicine, both very established in that region.
Okay, ancient traditions.
Yeah, and these aren't presented as overnight cures. It's more about comprehensive regimens. The idea is supporting the body's natural ability to heal itself.
So, what does that involve? Herbs.
Herbs are definitely a key part. The texts mention specific indigenous plants, things like pathiri, which I think is Indian trumpet flower, or extracts from the vilva or bale tree.
Never heard of those.
Right, they're quite specific to the region and tradition. The belief is that these herbs have properties that can help thin the bile, maybe reduce inflammation, and over time even gently dissolve cholesterol stones. They're often taken as special teas or decoctions.
Interesting. So it's not just one magic herb. It sounds more like a system. Does it also tackle why the stones formed?
Exactly. It's meant to be holistic. So beyond just the herbs, there's a huge emphasis on specific dietary protocols.
Diet. Always comes back to diet, doesn't it?
Often does. These diets are designed to sort of lighten the load on the liver and help the bile flow better. Think low-fat, high-fiber.
Right.
Lots of specific vegetables, fruits, even certain oils thought to help things move along, maybe help flesh out smaller stones naturally. It's about sustained changes, not a quick fix.
And maybe other therapies, too.
Yes. Sometimes alongside things like traditional oil massages Abhyanga, which are believed to improve circulation and detoxification generally, it's all connected.
That really is different from just, removing the gallbladder or the stones. It's more systemic.
Completely different philosophy,
Okay.
yeah. Less about surgical removal, more about restoring balance so the body can potentially resolve the issue itself. It's about fixing the root cause within the digestive system's balance.
A fundamental shift, really, from a sort of symptomatic fix to trying to rebalance the whole system. It really makes you think about how different cultures view health.
Absolutely. It highlights these alternative pathways that exist, pathways we might not normally consider in, say, the West.
So we're wrapping up, but maybe a final thought to leave with you, the listener.
Yeah, perhaps something to ponder is, what does the fact that these traditional practices, like the ones from Kerala, have persisted and are reported to be effective, what does that suggest? Does it tell us something about different ways to achieve health and wellness? And how might understanding these diverse approaches actually broaden our own perspective on common conditions like gallstones? Maybe push us to look beyond just the conventional options.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.